Dan Ward here, Ochka Bushcraft. I want to talk to you guys a little bit today about the twitch-up snare. Now, in almost every survival book, there's an article about the twitch-up snare. And most of the time you'll see a picture of a sapling that's bent down, and you have your snare sitting over the top of a trail, and then supposedly a rabbit or squirrel will come along, get caught in that, and get twitched up into the air. Well, one of the things that these books fail to tell you is that when a sapling is bent over for a while, the fibers in that sapling begin to stretch and it loses its twitch-up speed and power. So you could end up with a branch that, rather than slinging the animal up, which is what's intended, goes like this. And then your animal might even be touching the ground and can get out of the trap, or the trap's too slow to catch it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a way to make sure that this doesn't happen. So right here behind me, what I have done is I have lashed 3 saplings together. Now, mind you, when you're setting a snare, you may not be able to come across a setup quite like this, but here in the Ochka Mountains, it is very common to have a group of saplings growing together. So what I did is I tied all 3 saplings together, and basically now I have 3 times the power. So even if this sits here for quite some time, when that snare is triggered, and the animal, yeah, just whipped it right out of my hand is what it did. When the animal triggers it, it's still going to have a lot of snare to get it up and off the ground. Because like I said, you've got 3 saplings tied together, all pulling. And now I want to mention, by the way, whenever I set snares, I use number 12 bank line. It holds a lot better. It's a lot smaller, works much better on small game. The parachute cord, bright orange, is just so that you guys out there can see what I'm doing. I want to make sure it shows up on camera. So I didn't do anything fancy. I just took a little Y stick. You don't have to do any carving. You just can cut a Y stick and hook that down underneath another Y stick right here. And as I said, attach 2 or preferably 3 saplings together, and you're going to get 3 times the power coming up. Okay, so with that in mind, what happens if you find a game trail coming up from a stream or somewhere and there's no saplings anywhere near? You want to set some twitch-up snares, you're sure you can get some game. Well, I'm going to show you a way around that if there are no saplings available. What you need to do is just carry a piece of surgical tubing in your backpack. So what I've done here is I found a pole, leaned it up against this tree, tied the surgical tubing down. Same setup as before. I have the Y stick hooked under another stick shoved into the ground. My snare set, if this were an animal trail coming up from the creek and the rabbit were to come through here and get caught, pull, dislodge the twitch up, and bam, that surgical tubing pulls fast and pulls hard. It actually pulls a lot faster and a lot harder than the bent over saplings. So cut yourself a couple pieces of surgical tubing at the sporting goods store, keep it in your pack, find a pole laying around, lean it up on a tree, and you have the ability to make a twitch-up snare pretty much anywhere. I'm caught in my own snare now. So anyway, I hope that this tip is helpful. Dan Ward, sorry about that. Dan Ward, Ochka Bushcraft. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Take care.